This is a review of a game, of a book, the Scotch Game, a white repertoire. This book was written by Alexei Bezgodov and Vladimir Barsky, if I remember well their names. And I will turn here because it says this is the second edition of Vladimir Barsky book. The first one was from 2009. The new edition comes with 7 chapters, 79 illustrative games. And I will show you one game from this book, game 16 between Simagin and Cermak in Vienna 1991. As always, I turn the board from the side I want to study, so here it's obviously white side. The first 12 moves, there are no comments, but I think it's interesting because then there is a diagram, and as always, I will ask you to pause the video and try to guess, okay, what is the move. The Scotch has been used, if I remember well, by Kasparov in one of his matches, right? And wow, kind of very attacking, and with good success. I'm obviously pausing because sometimes I think how to defend the pawn e4, because this queen h4 is a move to consider. Bishop e2, knight g e7. Interesting, huh? Maybe before there was a note before this game, because I believe it's interesting to know why he didn't play queen takes e4 for some of us. And obviously many of us are not at grandmaster level or master level, and so we want to know why or why not those pawn takes are good or not. Castle, bishop takes e3, e takes e3, and queen takes e4. So this was a possibility. Unfortunately, in the book is not written this is Magin or Cermak what is the rating, so we don't have any idea if they are grandmaster level or what they are. Today, often there are also some interesting games at club player level, because the level of the club players is definitely higher than 40 years ago. Knight b5, obviously threatening here. Black played king d8. Strange. Rook e1, a6, knight d4, queen g6, bishop h5, and queen f6. Now, what do you play as white in this position? I think it's very interesting, in fact. Yeah. So if you pause the video and try to find out the white's next move, if you didn't pause the video and you want to see it, here we go. Bishop takes f7. Okay. Why? Because once we remove one of the pawns that is controlling e6, this tactic becomes a real. Okay? Knight takes d4. Queen takes d4. And queen takes back. Now the question, queen takes back, okay, here. The question is, what would you do as white if black would have played that move? In the book there is a line of the 3 moves that gives final advantage to white. So try to find it, okay? In the game, this was played. takes d4, h6, and bishop b3. Here is given the sign that white is better. Black's greatest achievement is the fact that he has managed to survive until the endgame. All other considerations are not nearly as good. Despite the material equality, white has two powerful bishops and mobile pawns in the center, while black still needs to finish his development and connect the rooks. d6, bishop b2, bishop f5, c4. We just saw a similar structure in the Black Lion, so check out that video because you will see a similar thing that happened also in there. So it's interesting. Rook f8, rook e3, king d7, and now there is a good move from white, which is d5. So now he has an outpost here, is avoiding that the knight can jump there. He has gained space, and then, of course, there is this bishop. The dark square bishop is rampaging on the long diagonal, unopposed, and the light square one will harass the king. Rook f7 to defend this, bishop a4, b5, trying to muddy the waters. Obviously here the author gave a line after this move, but in the game b5 was played, c takes b5, knight takes d5, b6, check, c6, rook c1. Wow, and when you see this kind of moves, you know that something is definitely wrong, because obviously the rook isn't free. Knight e7, bishop b3, d5, and what would you play now as white? Okay, and here is a thing you will discover. Sometimes the bishop pair is so powerful that they are really something that a rook cannot compensate. So this is move 26. White played 26 bishop e5. The game will finish very, very fast with rook g8, bishop e4, rook f8, rook e c3. Now everything is fighting for on c6, rook c8, f3, g5, b7, boom, rook b8. And what would you play now if you were white? Try always to pause the video and guess. This book review, is useful if you are interested in the book. But if you are not interested, at least you can learn something from pausing the video and trying to guess the next move. So it's a guess the move game that will improve your rating if you play in tournaments. Let's move on. Rook takes c6, knight takes c6, bishop takes c6, king e6, and rook e1, and here black decided to give up, because obviously white is going to win. There is also another game, just 29 moves, that also illustrate these lines. I will show it to you in the next video because I think it's interesting.